Today we're going to make lefse. My name is Reidun and I am going to make lefse today with my daughter, and I'll just give you a little description of what it is. It's kind of like a taco, but it's made from Idaho potatoes, peeled them, boiled them and peeled them, and then they go through a grinder, and then you make a dough. And this was my grandmother passed it on to my mother, and my mother, luckily for me, passed it on to me. And now I'm doing the same for my kids and grandchildren. So hopefully it'll come out good. And so let's get going. Hi. Here we are. This is my lefse making, lefse baker corner. And the first step is to grind the potatoes. The old-fashioned way, at least that's how I do it. And so here we go. I'll just show you a few. I gotta move around because I'm not a lefty. You put the potatoes in to the grinder. This is actually my mother's grinder even. Oops. I'll do one more and then I'll show you the result. This is the grinder now. It's done its function. So now this is kind of the pain in the neck part where you have to clean it. So for now, since we're going to bake, I'm just going to put it in salty water and let it soak. And that way it won't get hard, easy to clean later. Okay? Okay. Now that we have the potatoes ground, now we're going to make a dough. And I have and it has to be Idaho potatoes as far as I'm concerned. And my mother did the same thing. So I have a recipe that I got from somebody, not even my mother, but I mean, just to get an idea. It's 1 kilo, which is roughly 2 pounds of ground potatoes, to 300 grams of white flour. So, and that it doesn't look like it's ever going to be a dough, but it will. You just have to keep kneading it for a little bit. And I'll show you. Weighing up the flour, 300 grams. And that gets added right into the dough. But first I do a little salt. That's just regular salt, not kosher, because I might get it too salty then. And a little bit of butter. And I gotta make it hot again now, it's so cool. My mother always made just like one loaf like this at a time, because she always said that if you did them all at the same time, they got so soft, like almost wet, and you would have to add more flour, and you don't want to add a lot of flour if you don't have to. So here we go. Oh, and this is what I make it on. And it's great. It has like a pastry cloth on it, so the lefse doesn't stick so easily. Use less flour, which is good. And this is my mother's, of course, kevlar rolling pin, and I have a sock on it. And you can use any cotton sleeve or even a new or clean pantyhose. Cut it off. Because it saves you from getting all the grooves, for the dough getting stuck in all the grooves. I don't know if this is too much explaining it. And now we're going to flour the surface. And here we go. Oh, I did just like Momo. Flipped it over. Wow. just to make sure that it's thin. You check the edges, and if the edge is thin, it's usually thin. And then you put the fløy under and spread it on. This griddle I bought in Norway. I had another one before that but it burnt itself out. So this one I bought in Norway and just plugged it into 220. And just spray it again. Yeah, this one is good too, even though it's a little mishap in the beginning. Okay, in case there's any flour, but really there isn't, but if there is, make sure you brush that off. That will just burn the lefse out. And here we go again. Yeah. Now, this cooktop, hella, it's called a hella. It's mainly for lefse, but you can do anything on it if you want. But I bought it for that, and it's a great thing. And I bought it in Norway. I took it on the belt, wrapped it good, and I plugged it into 220, and here I am. And the first time I made lefse at my house, my husband just made one of these for me. It's up there actually. But you can also buy them, where you buy all this stuff, which is, think online. Bethany, I think, Bethany pastry cloth or something, and they have the whole thing. It's out west somewhere. Boy, I'm getting good at this. Gosh, Mama would stay here all day. I didn't bake with my mother, but I cooked every one of them on the griddle when she would make them. But she was the master. Oh, they were so good. This one is a little stock, which, oh, shit. If I can fix it, maybe. Like mending a piece of cloth. Oh, see, it stopped this one a little bit. Just loosen it gently under. Oh, see, we saved it. Beautiful. And it has all the different settings on it. So, what I think works the best for lefse is like just a little below 6.5. There was no place to store it. I mean, freezers, now they freeze beautiful. But except if you came from a certain place in Norway, like Aiken, where my mother was from, they made hard ones. And then you roll them. Actually, where it is, but there's a roller, and I have it, that you roll it with after you you wet it. And that makes it hard. I'm not good at that, and I tried, and it's not for me. But that way, then you could have a huge piles of flatbread and that, and then when company came or you needed it, you just wet it under the sink or sprinkle it with a spray bottle. So, I mean, it was great. I'm not sure where it came from, but everybody had it for Christmas and Easter and like holidays, always. It was great. See, this is the one Papa made, I think. This is just a wrap, but you would eat it with, on Christmas Eve, we ate it with pork belly. Oh, that's heavenly. And then you would make gomme, eggost, and put it in bacon. And you would make, it's a wrap, so you can put anything in it actually. But all those things are delicious. Scrambled eggs, oh my gosh, which we had for breakfast today. And bacon. So it's a really wonderful thing. And every household where I grew up made this before Christmas. And I go one step more. I actually make this Christmas Eve in the morning while everybody's sleeping. So it's fresh for Christmas Eve and our ribbe. And then on Christmas Day, we have like a big brunch. No, the day after Christmas, second day Christmas. I make it again. And so that's twice. And then I do it for my Christmas party as well in December. And everybody loves that I do that. So. And I do it in between too, like today even, because I really feel like I was so in the mood to have it, to eat it. And we're going to have ribbe tonight, and I did make eggost. So we're going to have just a tiny mini Christmas. Again, this is my daughter Linda, and she is going to try her hands at this today. I'm just getting it ready for her because see how kind of smearig it is?
Smooth.
Yeah.
It's like the size of a hamburger.
Yeah, exactly. And you flour the whole surface because you wind up getting stuck sometimes at the edges. The middle you do more. And then you put it down, and then you do maybe this much on top, so you don't have to.
Kind of a lot. It's like a heavy.
Well, because you don't do it more.
Right.
You do the other side a tiny bit, but you turn it over. Back and forth. And you try to make a circle from the beginning. A little bit. Yeah. And then you can also correct it as you go. We're back to our lefse now, and this is what we did. We made 20 lefse and about 50, maybe 60 potetskaker. So, it's an amazing feat we did. And they came out great, and Linda did so well too. Oh my gosh. So now I'm gonna separate them a little bit and cut them. I'm gonna just try to get the sometimes they're not quite the same size because we weren't that fussy. And we're just gonna pile them like this, and then I'm gonna cut them so they're ready to eat, and I'll show you how I do that. I do go like this because it's better than I used to use a scissor. This is better, and they look kind of the same, and they get. Okay, see how nice and neat they become? I'll show you. See? I'm gonna butter this one now. We just smear it up, and they really freeze well this way. We'll just do one so you can get the idea of it, okay? Never too much butter. So that's the idea of it. And then they freeze like this, and you can put little parchment paper or foil in between them, or plastic saran wrap in between each pile. Because that way you can take out just a few at a time. Because they come apart so easily, even frozen, when they're done like that. So that's it. Vær så god. Let's eat. Oh, look at it. Thank you for joining me in my kitchen. I had a great time, and I hope you did too. And I hope you'll subscribe to this weekly thing, because I have lots more up my sleeve. Thank you. Bye.